I know that there are some people who are going to be on the IsaBody call, but I really wanted to get on this call at 8:30, so let me get these lines muted. And we are going to get this started. So if you're just now tuning in, everybody, welcome to our Sunday team call. My name is Audrey McLeod, and I am really excited to connect with you tonight. If you don't have your video on, I just want to encourage you to turn your video on because we are talking about leadership tonight. And there is a shift in your energy as you get your video on and you remain engaged in what's taking place. So we have some really exciting things that are happening right now. This is the second week of 2020. So in the chats, guys, how are you guys feeling about this year? I know Ty, the other call, is running over. They did say it was going to end at 8:30, but I wanted to be respectful of the leaders who are tuning into this call at 8:30. So how are you guys feeling? Type in the chats. Anthony's feeling a little behind. How are you feeling about 2020, you guys? Second week of the year. Let me hear from you. Motivated as ever. Derek, cycling every single week. Him and his wife, Melissa, amazing. Zanette is feeling fresh. That's awesome. Kim is feeling excited. So great. Sierra is hopeful. Sierra, I'm really glad that you're here. Jess is feeling overwhelmed but motivated. Well, hopefully tonight, Jess, you will have some more clarity on your life. I'm really glad to see your beautiful face on here. Okay, guys. In just a couple weeks, we are heading out to Phoenix, Arizona. If you're coming to NYKO, type in the chats what you're the most excited about. Dad's coming to, and he's just excited, so he's just raising his hand. Okay, awesome. Type in the chats what you're the most excited about going into NYKO. If you haven't already bought your ticket, guys, it's not too late. You can still come to New Year kickoff. I heard James's talk and what he's sharing on Kathy Coover's panel on Saturday at the very end of the day is going to be so powerful and so insightful, and I'm really excited for all of you guys to be able to hear what he's bringing to the table. It's new information, it's fresh, and it's going to be really, really incredible. So we are working on a team night on Saturday evening. I did post in Freedom Living Team who's going to be at NYKO, so we can make reservations for dinner so we can all connect and hang out, because here at the events it is a little bit more challenging to connect with everybody. So if you haven't already commented on Freedom Living Team that you are going to be at that dinner, please do so we can get a head count. Okay, guys, so tonight's call, I'm going to be talking about, and I've got my notebook here. I was going to have a table, but James is out there doing Facebook Live with Isagenix Business. What we're going to be talking about tonight, are you done? Okay, hold on. We're going to move. Here we go. All right. Here we go.
Improvise! If you guys were not on that IsaBody call just now, I'm sure all of you were, but if you weren't, it was amazing. So make sure you go back and check it out because it was super good. All right, let me go and get this set up for you. Here, my love.
All right.
I'll set you right here.
This is awesome. Hey, improvising at its finest. Okay, perfect. There we go. Here we go. Welcome to the call, everybody. So glad you're here. Thanks for being adaptable tonight. If you're just tuning in, please turn on your videos. We want to see your beautiful faces. Awesome, awesome. All right, guys. So, that's a little bright. That was a little. There we go. My forehead's looking extra shiny tonight. Okay, the IsaBody call that's happening every Sunday. We are going to be doing our Freedom Living Team calls directly after it ends. So next Sunday, just know right after the call ends, it typically ends right at 8:30, but we're going to do it right after the IsaBody call is over just so we can roll right into it. So 1 hour out of your night on Sunday evenings will be for the IsaBody call and for the Freedom Living Team call. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about tonight is we're going to be talking about 10 attributes that you can develop as a leader in your Isagenix business. So if you don't already have a pen and a paper out, please get your pen and paper out because we're going to be talking about 10 attributes that you can work on when growing your business. So There are two people in this world. There are leaders and there are participants, okay? Leaders and participants. We all started out in our Isagenix business as a participant. Some of us who are on this call, we are still participants, and we are becoming more of a leader and diving into determining that we are going to step in a deeper role in leadership. So there are two people in Isagenix, there are two people in the world. There are leaders and there are participants. Now, when you choose to walk in your leadership, in your Isagenix business, leaders get remunerated way more than just participants. So when you're looking at your life and your Isagenix business in 2020, are you wanting to get remunerated, get paid a lot more than you did in 2019? Because if you want to get paid a lot more in 2019, it's going to cause you to step up in your level of leadership so that you can lead your team in a more direct manner. So every great leader were once a participant. I began 7 years ago as a participant, learning every skill that I needed to learn from Herb and Patty Cepeda. And I made a decision that in order for me to grow to the extent that I desired to grow in my Isagenix business, I was gonna have to step out and step up into a new level of leadership in order for me to earn more than I was originally earning. Is all of this making sense? Nod your head if this is resonating with you some. Okay, so every great leader were once a follower. They just made a decision to step up. So after this call tonight, my encouragement is that every single one of us, no matter where we are in our leadership walk in Isagenix, that we all decide to take a little step higher. Maybe some of you are going to take one giant leap. Maybe some of you are going to take a little tiny step. That's up to you to determine, because every person's goal, aspiration, and dream in Isagenix is completely different than the other. And we honor every person where they're at. We never project what we think you should want. This is up to you. That is what the ISA life is all about, determining what you want your ISA life to look like. So here are 10 major attributes of leadership that I'm going to share with you and show you how you can incorporate this into your Isagenix business. So number one, a major attribute of leadership versus a participant is an unwavering courage based on the knowledge of yourself and of Isagenix. Let me repeat that. Number one, an unwavering courage based on the knowledge of yourself and based on the knowledge of Isagenix. There is no participant wants to follow someone who lacks self-confidence. So when you're looking at how to step up as a leader, when you are courageous in stepping up, there's a trust that's formed between you and your team. It takes courage, unwavering certainty to lead your team. So if you're lacking a little bit in the self-confidence department, then take a reflection of yourself after this call and say, okay, where are the areas that I'm not as confident in, and how can I pivot and adjust to become more confident in this area? Again, leaders are confident. They're confident in themselves, and they're confident in their knowledge of Isagenix. So if there are little areas, and guys, everything that I'm teaching and sharing with you tonight, I am always in reflection mode of what are the things that I can tweak and become better? What are the areas of my life that maybe have a little insecurity, and how can I become more confident in those? Because it's not just about you becoming confident, but when you do become courageous and confident in yourself, your energy begins to shift and change. And when your energy begins to shift and change, you then begin to attract what it is that you really desire in your Isagenix business, okay? So number two is what separates leaders from just participants is self-control. What do I mean by self-control? I mean discipline. Leaders versus participant are disciplined in the daily action. The daily action of the to-dos in Isagenix, whether that's connecting with 2 new people a day, whether that's following up with your short list. Again, it's not meaning 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's discipline in the daily action. Discipline is setting aside 1 hour on a Sunday evening to show up for the IsaBody call, because those calls are gold. And your brand new team members who are starting and joining you and your customers who are tuning into that, you're on that call supporting them. It's the discipline to say, I'm going to get on this call with my video on because I'm a leader and I'm showing up and I'm stepping up first. So number 2 is discipline. It's having the discipline to maybe go to bed earlier and wake up earlier so that you can read, you can journal, you can do your personal development in the morning. Okay? Number 3, leaders versus just participants have a keen sense of justice. They stand on righteousness. They stand on truth. They stand on integrity. Now, being a person of integrity isn't something that you walk around and you say, I am a person that stands for righteousness and I stand for truth. Again, guys, this is an energetic business, but true leaders stand on the truth of what it is that they know to be true, the vision in which they're feeling and aligning with in their Isagenix business. Is this making sense? Is this helping? Some areas that you can step into. Okay, number 4, the difference between leaders and participants. Our leaders make a definite decision. Leaders make a definite decision and they are unwavering in that decision. Unwavering. When I look at the top income earners who are people of influence, they are people who have served the masses. They made a decision one time to show up, one time that Isagenix was going to be what it was inside of their heart that they wanted it to be. They made that decision, they didn't waver from that decision, and they chose to keep their eyes set on the vision of what that decision is for them. Where I see a lot of people going to the left and the right is indecisiveness, saying they want something one day and pulling back the next day, saying I'm gonna go all in for 1 week and coming back out the next week. Indecisiveness doesn't bring you closer to your goals, but when you make a definite decision, again, this is all about trust. We're building an organization within Isagenix, and when you make a definite decision, the people that you're talking to with Isagenix, they inadvertently know that you're not going anywhere. You're going to show up on the calls. You're going to show up on the pages. You're going to get yourself to New Year kickoff if you can. You're going to do all of the things that you need to do to show up, and then they're going to say, here's my credit card, here's my information, because I trust that you're going to take me exactly where you're going because you've made a decision to get there. So if you haven't yet made a decision in your Isagenix business of what it is that you are going to do or become in 2020, make that decision tonight. Do not waver any longer because we don't have time to go back and forth. Listen, the enemy loves confusion. The enemy loves when you're like, whoa to the left, whoa to the right. Maybe I'll go forward. Maybe I'm going to come back. But no, when you make a definite decision, you become aligned. And when you stay in that alignment, you're going to see fruit from that. So number 4 is definite decision. Number 5 is a definiteness of plan. So not just a definite decision, but a definiteness of plans. It's a little tongue tie right there. A leader versus a participant makes definite plans for their business and for their future. I just made a post today because every Sunday is a day where James and I are in massive reflection mode and we prepare for the week ahead. We look back on this week, we count our wins, and we look back and reflect at some of the areas that we may have fallen short in so that we can become better people moving forward. So we become better and smarter when building this business. So there's a saying that says, show me your calendar and I'll show you your future. When a leader is definite of their plans, they're scheduling out who are they going to connect with this week in their organization. How many people are you showing the plan to? Who are you showing the compensation plan to? When we look at the leaders who are growing in Freedom Living Team, they're constantly filling in their calendar, not taking up their whole life, but making a definite plan for where they're headed. Because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So look at your calendar this evening. What is this coming up week looking like? Maybe you're a really big planner and you're scheduling out month to month. When are you going to do an eat for free call for your organization and your team? When are you going to have a launch party at your house or an opportunity overview? Put it in your calendar and be definite. Because guys, again, everything that I'm going over with you are action steps that you can take as a leader. But what's going to happen is there's going to be an energetic shift in your business. And we talk a lot about energy because what I've learned over the last 7 years of building my organization is that Isagenix as a whole and our organization runs off of our energy, runs off of our definite decisions, runs off of our vision, runs off of us continuing to focus on all of the good that's happening versus complaining about what isn't. Stopping that and moving forward. So number 6 is leaders versus the participants, and I love this one so much, are in the habit of doing more than what you're paid for. Whoa, let's think about that for a second. Doing more than what you're paid for. Now, when you look at your network marketing business, we all know that the majority of the work are going to come in the first handful of years. 3 to 5 years, guys. We're not sugarcoating this. This isn't make $1 million. This is hard work. 3 to 5 years. You're putting in way more than what you're getting paid for the ultimate vision of being paid more in the end than what you're working for. A couple years ago, James and I were looking at each other and we were like, oh my gosh, we are working so hard. The amount of work, we're working so smart. I'm changing my verbiage. We're working so smart in our business. We're helping our team. We're doing the compensation plan. We're getting on Zoom calls. We're showing up. Honestly, the work that we're putting into this is like $1 million a year. And we're not making anywhere close to $1 million a year. We're not making anywhere close to $1 million a year. And we had this conversation with one another. And we listened to something that was just this. And it said, leaders get in the habit of doing more than what they're paid for. Because in the end, you will end up being paid for the work that you're doing. So when we had that revelation click with us, we knew the work that we're putting into it, we're going to get paid back. Are we willing to continue with the time? Are we willing to lean in when we're not seeing the fruit right here, right now? Because let me tell you what, a participant would fall away and they would say, no, it's easier just to be comfortable. It's easier just to stay back and love my products and use them. But those of you who are on this call right now, I know each of you, I know what it is that you want to see happen in your organization. So the work, put more in than what you're being paid for and watch how it will compound year after year after year. And I'm going to go as far to say that it's not even necessarily going to be what you're being, what you receive on a Monday as a ding, because you are going to get paid very beautifully on that Monday as a ding. But you're going to be paid for by becoming somebody that is worth knowing, a person of influence. The more that you put into your business, the more every area of your life begins to blossom. I've seen that for my own life. Isagenix has blessed our life more than just financially, emotionally, spiritually, physically, mentally. So number 6 is leaders are in a habit of doing a little bit more. That little bit more always adds up. Not talking about doing so much more, but just a little bit more. So maybe instead of 2 connections tomorrow, maybe you're going to do a little bit more and you're going to connect with 3. Why? Because your vision for your life is brighter. Your vision for your life is brighter. So number 7, and this one is a good one, is leaders versus participants have a pleasing personality. Now, what do I mean by that? People are attracted to people who are smiling, who are open, who listen, who are kind, who give encouragement, who lend a helping hand. These are all qualities of a leader that attracts an organization. So maybe there are some parts like for me, I noticed in my personality that, and I learned this from James. James is an amazing communicator and he listens. He listens more than he talks. And I love to talk. And I just observed him and I said, you know what? This is a part, my dad's laughing right now, he knows. This is a part of my personality that I can tweak just a little bit because I want to be a person of influence. And talking isn't necessarily going to get me there. So a little tweak in my personality was reeling it back a little bit and listening more. Maybe you are a person that maybe you don't smile as much. Maybe you can consciously focus on this next week of smiling more at strangers. Because again, this is an energy building business. And the more that you do that, the more you're going to receive that back in. Just little tweaks. Again, this call is about stepping it up just a little bit. For some, it's going to be stepping it up a lot. For some, it's going to be stepping up a little bit. But for most and for all of us, it's a call of reflection. A call of saying, hey, this is really good. These are the areas, because I don't want to just be a participant. I love participating, but I want to become a greater leader for the team that I envision coming and being attracted to me. So number 8, a leader versus a participant. They function from sympathy and understanding. A great leader empathizes with the people in their organization who are coming to them with their problems. Now, if you are getting on coaching calls with people and you're spending 30 minutes listening to their problems, spend 10 minutes empathizing and loving them and encouraging them and shift that conversation and saying, hey, this is a coaching call. I'm going to help you with this. But a great leader listens. They have empathy. Their heart is with them. People who are empathized towards others, carry that trust. And when that trust is between the team member and the leader, they'll follow them anywhere. I look at the leaders within this organization and I look at people like Joni McLeod and Kathy Waldrop and Ellen and Jennifer and Jess, and I look at my parents and I look at Leslie, and these are the most loving, empathetic humans that have built such a beautiful team because they're constantly empathizing and being there for their customers. This is just something to always, always remember. Now, we can go overboard, and now every single call or training can be a big pity party. That's not what I'm talking about here. But to empathize where they're at, to move them forward and saying, all right, now we're going to focus on the business here. Number 9, and we're going to wrap it up with these last 2. Number 9, a difference between a leader and a participant is a leader is a mastery. They have mastery in detail. Mastery in detail. Now, what do I mean by this as it pertains to Isagenix? As a leader, when you're detail-oriented to have a heartbeat on your organization, to ask yourself that little detail of who on your team, who in your customer base, who as your business partner needs encouragement, needs building up, who in your organization can you reach out to because you know that they need a training call because you just saw on their social media that X, Y, and Z happened. This is being a master of being attentive to detail in your organization. Now, a leader can look at their team. They can look at what's going on and say, you know what? I could tell Christina needs a little extra love today. So I'm going to reach out and I'm going to encourage. I'm going to edify. I'm going to lift up. I'm going to see what I can do to help move that needle forward in the business. Is this helping? Yes? Yes? Okay. And then finally, the last thing that sets leaders apart from just participants is a willingness to assume full responsibility. A willingness to assume full responsibility and knowing that everything in your life and everything in your business is a direct result from the choices that you've made. The lowest frequency that we can live is casting blame upon others. Well, if only this person showed up to the call, then I would be further ahead. No. Well, if only this person came to NYKO, I'd be, no. Well, no, we do not cast blame. We are people who are who are living a standard that the world is desperate to look at as an example. And when we take full responsibility of our business, full responsibility of our organization, there is a freedom that will abound inside of you and an energy that will shift in you, a humility that will come from taking full responsibility of all of the good and of some of the mistakes that we can learn from. Because when we take that full responsibility as a leader, we take that full responsibility, we're taking ownership. We're taking ownership of our organization and ownership of our business. And that from that energetic standpoint, again, it goes back to the people that you are attracting and the people who are within your organization. They're going to know that you are someone that they can trust to pivot and to move forward. And then finally, guys, there are two forms of leadership. Two forms. There is leadership by sympathy and empathy, and there's leadership by force. The people in the world that we can look back at leaders who have been forceful in their leadership, dictators, Hitler, he was considered to be a wonderful leader at the time, and then ultimately it ended up being an absolute disaster that we know it today. James and I, we see when leaders want to grow in this business and they use force, I call it cracking the whip. We've all been there. I myself have been there. You want to crack the whip on your team. Come on, we can do more. We can go more. That's forceful. And what happens is through that force, everybody stays paralyzed. It may for a moment get people into action, but when you're looking at the long-term growth of your Isogenics organization, that long-term growth of the vision and the cycles that you have, that force will only take you so far. But when you lead with sympathy, with empathy, with encouragement, and you want to move your business forward, you look at the people in your organization and what can you point out that they're doing that's great? What can you point out that will encourage them? Hey, you see them posting on Freedom Living Team. You're going to give them encouragement for doing that. Leaders who withstand the test of time are the ones that are constantly building up, constantly encouraging, constantly being empathetic to the customers that they have, leading them in love, which is the highest frequency that we as human beings can function from, is by leading with love, leading with encouragement. Listen, I do not live in Delusionville. There are really challenging things that happen when building an organization. I get it, you're working with people, but don't let yourself fall into the trap of staying at that place for too long. Constantly grab your mind to get yourself back into a state where you're leading with love. You want to see your business move forward more than it's ever moved before? Point out all the good things that your customers are doing. Point out all of the great things that your team members are doing, even if they haven't enrolled one person, but you see them showing up and going through freedomlivingteamtraining.com. You encourage that and you edify that. And from that place, your team will want to have and to take more action. Nobody takes more action by feeling like they have to do more. But when Kathy Coover sends me a voice memo on my birthday, when she didn't have to, and she said, hey, Audrey, I just want to tell you happy birthday. I see you and James are in Europe. You guys are just such a great couple. Thank you for all you do with Isogenics. As soon as she sent that voice memo, I turned off my phone. And that evening, I sent out messages. And I reflected back on that. And I said, all I wanted was just a little encouragement. And look what that did. She didn't text me and say, hey, I saw that you only need blah, blah, blah. Hey, why don't you do this more? That wouldn't have gotten me into action. But Kathy Coover is an amazing leader. Jim and Kathy Coover are amazing leaders that lead with integrity. And everything that I just stated right here are two people who are leading with that, which is why James and I trust them, which is why we continue to show up, because they have led us so well. And these things I wanted to share with you tonight, so you can take these 10 attributes and you can become those people to take your business a little further ahead in this next week. Maybe you're going to take it a lot further ahead this next week. But guys, these 10 things are things that I focus on every day to become better, to lead better, to tweak things in my life, to get rid of things that no longer serve me so that I can become more to make a greater impact. So I wanted to share this with you tonight. I am really, really excited for where we're going. Free membership, you guys, is extended this week. It's extended this week. So when you're moving into this next week and you are taking these 10 things that I have written down right here, and you are going to encourage your team, let your team know that membership is extended so that when you follow up with your customers, you can bring new blood into your organization. Thank you so much for being on this call. We're going to be on this call next week, directly after the IsaBody Challenge call. We'll see you next week, everybody. Have a great rest of your night. Bye.